Watch this. I fill a glass straight from a storage tank fed entirely by my roof, and I drink it. A 5-stage system, gutters, a first flush diverter, a sediment filter, a carbon filter, and an ultraviolet sterilizer. A small pre-configured setup starts around $2,600 to $3,000. A full custom installation lands somewhere between $41,000 and $46,000. The storage tank is usually the single most expensive line item, not the filters, not the UV unit. That seems backwards. It isn't, and I'll show you exactly why. By the end of this video, you'll understand every stage water passes through, which roofing materials the industry flatly forbids, where people quietly get this build wrong. Most people approach this build from one of two directions, and both directions fail the same way. Direction 1. Buy an expensive whole house filtration package a salesperson recommends. Direction 2. Rig a garden hose filter or a basic charcoal cartridge under the sink and call it done. Tap water arrives already tested, treated, and chlorinated. Rainwater off your roof has touched none of that. It's carried bird droppings, dust, pollen, insect remains, and whatever chemical residue happened to be sitting on your shingles. Rain is basically clean water the moment it hits your gutter. It isn't. It may also be clean water plus dissolved metal, because certain very common roofing materials are explicitly not permitted for potable catchment. Your job isn't to filter water. It's to filter, and sometimes replace, a roof. Testing your water once at installation means you're covered forever. A system that passed its first test can still drift out of spec a year later. Here's the complete path, start to finish, in the order water actually travels. Rain hits your roof surface and runs downhill into the gutters. The gutters feed a downspout, and the downspout feeds a first flush diverter. Past the diverter, cleanish water enters your storage tank, which has to be sealed against light, opaque, and screened. From the tank, a pump pushes water into the treatment train proper. First stop, a coarse sediment filter. Second stop, a finer carbon filter. Third and final stop, an ultraviolet sterilizer, always last. Each stage removes a completely different category of problem. Skip a stage or run them out of order, and the next stage downstream either clogs faster or fails outright. One-sentence version: dirty water gets progressively cleaner through a chain of single-purpose physical filters, then gets sterilized biologically right before it reaches you. Filtration and disinfection are two completely different jobs, and neither one can do the other's work. Filtration removes physical stuff, dirt, grit, particles. A filter works by having holes smaller than the thing you're trying to stop. Disinfection works by damage, not by size exclusion. Ultraviolet light physically damages the genetic material inside a microorganism, so it can't reproduce. Think of it like a bouncer standing next to a metal detector. You need both in that order. ANSI NSF Standard 55 specifies that dose measured at the worst-case water clarity the unit is rated for. Filter first, so the light can actually do its job. Let's go stage by stage, with the one spec that actually matters at each stage, and a realistic price range for each. Wood roofing material and lead flashing are explicitly disallowed. Galvanized or zinc-aluminum metal roofing is discouraged. What is appropriate? Standing seam metal roofing with a powder-coated or enameled, non-toxic finish. Gutters and downspouts. Material just needs to be compatible with your roof surface and non-reactive. First flush diverter, built from ordinary PVC pipe sized to your target diverted volume. Sediment filter, a standard 10-inch spun polypropylene cartridge rated at 5 microns, 1 gallon per minute at 60 pounds per square inch, $30 to $80. Carbon filter, look for a modified carbon block rated around a half micron, $70 to $75 per cartridge. UV sterilizer. Class A units deliver a minimum UV dose of 40 millijoules per square centimeter, 9 gallons per minute, 83 watts, 9,000 hours, around $1,100. Storage tank. Material has to be safe for potable contact, opaque, screened overflow, $1 to $2 per gallon of raw tank capacity. Pump. A submersible automatic rainwater pump, $550 to $600. Supply in gallons equals your catchment area in square feet, times your rainfall in inches, times a runoff coefficient, times 0.623. Metal roofs run about 0.95. Asphalt shingles run 0.75 to 0.9. Flat tar and gravel roofs run 0.8 to 0.85. A metal roof yields about 592 gallons. An asphalt shingle roof yields about 498 gallons. A flat gravel roof yields about 511 gallons. A common household standard diverts about 0.02 inches of rain. That's 12.46 gallons discarded per storm. 4-inch PVC pipe holds about 0.67 gallons per foot. A 10-foot standpipe diverts roughly 6.7 gallons. 6-inch pipe, 8-inch pipe. Check your UV sterilizer against your real peak flow rate, not your average flow rate. The failure is entirely biological and entirely silent. The rule of thumb is 2 to 3 days of expected demand as a baseline, stretching to 5 days or more. Don't overbuild storage. A basic pre-configured setup. Entry-level filtration. Add a proper NSF 55 class, a UV disinfection unit. A genuinely potable grade treatment train, well under $2,000 in incremental hardware. A 1,200 square foot standing seam metal roof. 25,600 gallons a year. 14.9 gallons per storm event. 8-foot length of 6-inch standpipe. Phase 1, roof and gutters. Confirm your roof surface is actually appropriate for potable catchment. Standing seam metal with a non-toxic finish is the safe default. Phase 2, install the first flush diverter. It has to drain itself automatically between storms, or it becomes a stagnant water trap. Phase 3, set the storage tank on a proper pad. Installing the tank after the surrounding plumbing and landscaping are finished is a common, expensive mistake. Phase 4, install the pump, sized to your target flow rate, at a rate the downstream filters and UV unit are rated to handle. Phase 5, plumb the treatment train, in strict, non-negotiable order. Sediment filter first, carbon filter second, UV sterilizer third, and always last. Phase 6, before the system goes live, the entire tank and line has to be disinfected and flushed, filled with a chlorine solution, held, then flushed clean. Phase 7, get your water tested and formally approved before you drink from the tap. The step that actually confirms the previous 6 phases worked. Failure 1, the silent bulb. A burned out or degrading bulb gives no visible sign at the tap, unless your specific unit has a dose monitoring failure alarm. Failure 2, the cloudy kill. Turbid particle-heavy water reaches the UV chamber and physically blocks light from reaching organisms. Pathogens still get through untouched. Failure 3, the green tank. A cracked lid or a fitting that lets in stray light allows algae to establish itself inside your clean storage. Failure 4, the wrong roof. Lead flashing around a chimney, treated lumber trim, or a galvanized surface. The water can pass through every filter and UV stage flawlessly and still carry dissolved metal. Failure 5, the one-team test. Filters age past their rated gallon capacity. A UV lamp creeps toward the end of its 9,000-hour life. Nobody notices. Under the International Plumbing Code, a rainwater system used for drinking is classified as an individual water supply, and it cannot legally be connected to your household plumbing until the water is tested and formally approved. Code prohibits any direct connection between this private potable supply and the public municipal water line. That connection needs a physical air gap of at least 4 inches above the tank overflow or an approved backflow preventer. Roofing and flashing materials are a code and safety issue, not just a taste and odor issue. Lead flashing and wood roofing material are not permitted on a potable catchment surface. Any pipe, fitting, or valve touching your finished drinking water needs to meet recognized low lead and potable contact material standards. Check the certification markings stamped directly on the part. This video is educational and not professional electrical, plumbing, or structural advice. Have your plan checked by a licensed professional and your local code office before you build. A basic pre-configured system starts around $2,600 to $3,000. A full custom professionally installed system lands in the $41,000 to $46,000 range. Compared against municipal water, the payback period may genuinely never arrive. Compared against hauling water by truck, drilling a well, or bottled water, this system can pay for itself considerably faster. This build isn't primarily a money saver against cheap municipal water. It's water security, plus a genuine side benefit of naturally soft water. The next system this unlocks is irrigation. Educational only. Verify against your local code. Build it once, understand it forever. Subscribe if you want the rest of your homestead explained the same way.